Hit that subscribe, hit that like. Let's craft the day and light the night. Georgie's Gorgeous Gifts, run by Tony, it's true. We're making magic just for you.
Hi everybody, welcome back, and today we've got something different for you. I bought this off Temu. Now they do them on Amazon and it's a 3D printing pen. Who knew that they even did printing pens? I didn't until about a few weeks ago. So I haven't even opened this box, so I'm opening it with you now. Inside we've got a user manual. I probably should have took a look at that before I opened the box, as in before I did the video. What's this? Operating instructions. Surely that's the same as the user manual. Then I believe these are templates that you can use. So the idea is you've got your images here. You then pop your acetate over the top, and then you do your basically trace it with the 3D pen. So along with all that came the charging lead, two little finger thimble things. I presume these are to stop you from burning yourself, as it does get quite hot. What's this? We've obviously got the pen. I quite like that colour. Now, I did go through all the reviews and this was one of the better ones. Whether this is already charged or not, I don't know, or whether I'll have to charge it and then come back. Now, I know I'm not very good with these things, but the fact that it has to be plugged into work should have given me a little bit of a clue that it wasn't going to switch on until it was plugged in. Can't even find the on button. So we've got a temperature button, we've got the speed, we've got an unload and a load button. And it also comes with PLA filament. And this is vacuum packed. Because this only come with a very, very little 3D filament, I bought another pack. Now, whether it makes a difference to the quality of the PLA, I will look up what PLA means and I will pop it in just down below. Actually, that's going to bug me, so I need to have a look what that means. I'll Google it. Right, so it stands for polylactic acid. It's a biodegradable bioplastic derived from renewable sources like cornstarch or sugarcane. So it's the most popular filament for 3D printers, believe it or not. Right, so I'm going to have to cut off, I'm going to have to charge it up, figure out how to turn it on and how to load it, etc. Or we'll do that together, but I at least need it charged. So I'm going to do that and then I'm going to come back. Right, so we're about 45-50 minutes after I turned the camera off, purely because I pressed the temperature thing and you can barely see that screen. And I mean like barely, so I didn't even know whether it was on. And then it kept going down, these numbers kept going down. So I presumed that was seconds or minutes to full heating. It turns out you've got to press the load button and then it starts to heat, because I thought, well, why is it cold? So anyway, eventually, so it's hit temperature and I've pressed the load button and loaded my filament into the pen. And now for some reason it stopped. Now I have sped this bit up just slightly, but this is the amount of faffing that it took just to figure out how to switch the thing on, honestly. So finally I got it to work. And there it is coming out. So right, so that's now fully loaded. Apparently different filament requires different temperature. Why that is, probably because of the colouring in them. I am going to pop one of these little finger things on because you can guarantee 110% that I will burn myself. Why have they got them holes in the back? That's a bit weird. And the holes in the front. Why would you have holes in the front of a finger thing? If anyone watching is familiar with a 3D printing pen, Can you answer that question? Why is there holes in the finger things?
And bring out the stencil. Oh, it's double-sided. Right, so what we're going to start with first. These are, like I said, the 3D ones, so you've got to put them together. So I think we'll go for the butterfly to start with. Right, so I presume you just hold it like any other pen.
Now I am going to apologise in advance for anybody who's ever done 3D printing because this was a mess. But this was the first time I'd ever picked one up. So there is an option to change the speed, so I put it on speed 2. From what I can tell though, there's not an awful lot of difference in between the speeds. So again, this was me trying to wait for it to start up. I kept pressing the button, but not realising that it does cut out every so often, I think, so that it reheats. But yeah, I suppose it's all a learning curve. So finally I got it going.
Whoa.
So it was during this bit I sort of forgot that I was filming. So I was really concentrating on trying to get this right because it was going all over the place. And honestly, I wasn't expecting it to do this in any way, shape or form. Don't really know what I was expecting. It looks so simple, but trust me, it so isn't.
Let's get rid of this bit because we don't need that. Let's start again. Now I sort of know what I'm doing.
And again, waiting for it to come on. It really is annoying that it stops to get to temperature every so often. As you'll see further on in the video, it doesn't cut out as much, and I think it was more, like I say, beginner error rather than anything wrong with the machine. And the struggle I was having just to keep this in some sort of straight line without it all jumping up off the page or bending or, yeah, it was really, see, it curls up and all sorts. So after an age that I've edited and cut out for you, of trying to get it to start up again, I'm just going over this butterfly. When it does start going, I mean, it's not too bad, but it's the constant cutting out. I am voiceovering the bits that I was highly concentrating clearly because there was no noise apart from the noise of the machine, which is quite irritating, by the way. But yeah, this was probably the longest line or lines that I managed to get out of the whole thing. I don't know what I did differently, but I'm sure with enough practice I'll figure it out.
This is going to be awful, but it's my first time and I thought I'd share this with you.
So again, me being me, I'm only doing the lines, the outside sort of main lines here. What I should have been doing was filling in the entire bit so that it all stuck together. I think that's what I should have been doing anyway. As you'll see when I do the peacock in a bit further on the video. Now this did take a while and a lot of concentration, so I will speed it up for you because there's a lot more to get through. But yeah, watch the magic or disaster, depending on what your view is. So watching videos, the suggestion is to rotate the paper or your work rather than try to use the pen in a different way or different direction, should I say. Perhaps that's where I was going wrong. So it's nearly time to take this piece off the stencil template.
I'm going to try that peacock, but first things first, let's see if we can get this off. Now I forgot to put the plastic down onto it. I should have put the plastic sheeting down onto it. With me like a div, forgot to do it.
So I was sure that this was going to fall apart. So I'm just prising it off really gently.
Okay, right, so we've got 3 pieces, right? So they're not the tidiest, they're not the best. Let's anchor that one together with that one.
So now it was time to attach them together or anchor them together. Again, not really a clue what I was doing, and this is the state of my butterfly. Whether this was supposed to be solid or whether it was actually supposed to be like this, I do not know, but I'm going to do one in another month and see whether it's any better than this one, whether I've progressed any further. So I will speed this up for you. I am literally just attaching it with some more of this blue filament. And because it's hot, it melts the two pieces back together. This was a lot more difficult than it actually looks. But to be fair, it does actually look quite difficult watching it back.
Lines wavy, blobs growing wide. Is it art or just a melted?
Now it was time to take it off the acetate, and I really want you to hear my real-time reaction.
And look. All right, he's not perfect in any way, shape or form, and he needs a bit of snipping off. But, I mean, come on. Effort. Points for effort, surely. Yeah. Okay. But for a first effort, it's not that bad. I mean, these are really quite tough. Like I say, the things that you're going to be able to do with these things. I've got a new little cloche mould, little housing mould, and I think I'm going to make something in 3D print. It's going to go inside that. So I'll do the peacock off camera. And have a bit more of a play, and then come back to you when I'm a bit more comfortable, shall we say, and see what else we can do with it.
But before we go any further, next week's video we're going to be demonstrating this fab foil quill pen.
Because I'd also never heard of one of them until a couple of weeks back. Yeah, what a hot foil quill pen, I don't know. I now know what it does because I have tried this one out. But I still don't know what it's originally for. It's definitely not originally for resin, but guess what? It's being put on resin. Surprise, surprise. So, like I say, let me have a play and I'll be back.
So this is 24 hours later, and I've spent about an hour having a bit of a play trying to figure it out a little bit.
So in order to change the filament, so you press the unload button and then you pull it out. This does take a little bit, but I'd recommend always taking the filament out after you've finished using it. And there you go. So as you can see, there's a little jagged edge on the end of that. Now, do not put that into your pen. From what I've seen, from what I've read, from what I've heard, this will damage your 3D pen. So I'm just going to snip that off so that we've got a straight edge to start with every time. I mean, in all fairness, it's turned out a little better than this one. Yeah, this one wasn't so great, but we're getting somewhere with this one. So like I say, I have been having a little play off camera. So now we're going to fill in with the yellow. So to do this, you press the load button and you feed the filament through. Now again, from what I've read, different filaments need different temperatures to heat. So apparently you can tell by the noise. I mean, so far it's all sounding pretty much the same, but I'm literally just pushing it through this end and waiting for it to come out the other end. When it comes out the other end, it will still have part of the blue filament on the end. So as you can see, look, so you just keep feeding it through. There's the yellow coming through now. Still at a greeny stage. There's the yellow coming. There we go. So now it's coming through as yellow. So all that is, be careful because that is or can be hot. I mean, I would imagine a good quality one of these would be really, really good. So I'm going to just show you what I've been doing here. So I'm literally just moving the pen along this stencil but for some reason it keeps cutting out. And whether that's something I'm doing wrong, whether that's something that's with the pen just because it's a cheap one, I don't know. But I mean, come on, much better than yesterday's first attempt. So I'm just going back and forth. See, there you go, it's cut out again. Whether that's to let it heat up a little bit more so that it allows the filament to, filament to run through the pan.
Do you see how sidetracked I get? I mean, honestly, halfway through a sentence and I want to know whether it's filament or filament. And that's half the reason why I have to voice over most of the time.
So I'm just, and I presume that's what the finger things are for, because that was quite hot. Press it down so it's a little bit smoother.
So again, this is a long one, so you're not going to want to sit through all this. So I will speed through this one for you. But yeah, the body of the peacock's done, the wing, and then I'm just doing the yellow bit on the peacock's tail. Now this does require 3 different colours, so let's see how good I am. Or not, as the case may be.
Tried to make a vase, it turned into a hat. We thought it was a bird, now it's a splat. Plastic strings flying, sticking to my shoe. Is it a sculpture? I haven't got a clue. Tutorial says keep steady, go slow. But my hands got rhythm in the chaos flow.
So now it was time to take them off, and I was super excited because these ones were a lot better than the last lot. So this is the peacock body. It stayed solid. Can you believe it? I'm so chuffed with myself. Then we've got the little wing. Now I've just got to put it together. That's the difficult bit. And now trying to peel off this peacock plume, would we say? Yeah, I did this really, really carefully because I thought if anything's going to fall apart, it would have been this bit. But you know what? It didn't. It didn't fall apart. Can you literally hear how buzzing I am with myself? I really thought this was going to be a massive disaster, considering I've only literally been playing with this for 2 hours max. And half of that has been on camera with you lot. So I presume this is how they sort of go together. So you've got the main body and then you've got the one feather. Now you could use the one set of plumes, I suppose, but on the picture it does show 2. So yeah, the one would be like that and then the other one would be the other side. And then we pop the wing on and then pop his little feet and his toes on. Now how I'm going to do his feet and his toes I don't know, but we're going to figure that one out as well. So if you would like to see the end result, stay tuned. So I just wanted to show you this bit, and really when you get to grips with it, how easy it becomes. So this is the second wing. So I've already done the first wing, but this is in real time. And look at me go. I've really sort of picked the hang of it up, and it doesn't seem to be cutting out as much now. So whether it was me, bringing my finger off the button slightly, or I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I managed to go all the way across this piece in one go without it stopping. Now, to be honest with you, because of the price, I wasn't expecting it to be very good. But I'm actually really surprised. I think it's really, really good value for money, particularly if you just want to see whether you like it. If anyone else had created this, they probably would have stopped there. My 15-month-old probably could have done better. But yeah, I was really pleased that I bought it just to give it a go. I mean, for under £20, if I didn't like it, really, would it have mattered? And it was only that much because I bought the extra pack of the PLA filament. If you just bought the pen, it was under 15. So just from buying this kit, I've actually learned a lot. And I am really enjoying it. I can't wait to do more things with it. So like I say, this is in real time. And this is all stuff that I have picked up in probably under 2 hours. I made the butterfly, I made the peacock, and I did make a second butterfly, just having a bit of a play about, but literally that is all I have done. And yeah, it really is quite easy when you get the hang of it. Now the putting together, that's going to be the difficult bit. So I'm just going back in here, making sure that all the points are connected. That's called anchoring, apparently. Get me with the technical terms. Now I've actually got the hang of the pen, here comes the tricky bit. And this was tricky, so I need a lot more practice. I didn't even put it together right in the end. So these are the two parts of his plumes. One has got to be backwards for them to fit. So I thought, right, how am I going to join these together? Apparently you just use more PLA filament. And what it does, it kind of remelts what's there and adds the extra strength to bond them together, which is really, really clever. I mean, to be honest, I don't really know an awful lot about 3D printing. I know it looks cool, and I know I've seen videos on it, but it was always the cost that stopped me from investigating further. I've been working on a lot of scenes lately, so underwater scenes, etc., in big cube moulds and big spheres. And as I said earlier, I've bought one of them cloche moulds. Is it cloche, or I think that's how you call it? That Gert Creates did a fabulous little scene inside one a couple of weeks back. So I had to go and get the mould. But yeah, I think to 3D print something and then pop it either in resin or to pop it inside one of them casing moulds. Here's a picture of it. This was just so much easier than trying to describe it. So like I say, I'm just attaching these two bits of plumage together, then turning it over and doing exactly the same on the other side so that it was definitely not going to fall apart. So after I'd gone over it once, I then had a quick going over it just a second time, just to doubly reinforce it. So now that part is done, and that's quite secure. It's time to pop the body on. Now it should have gone on at the back of the tail, but I thought, how am I going to stand it up? And I knew I wasn't going to be able to fit them feet and the legs on. I'm just not that competent yet. So I decided to pop it into the middle. I did this by putting some more of the 3D filament onto each side of the plumage and then attaching it to the bird. This was really quite fiddly, yeah, and I probably should have gone for something a lot easier, especially because it was my first 3D piece, other than the disaster of the butterfly, of course. Now that bit is completely secure, it should have been time for the wing, but because I didn't put it in the right place, there was nowhere for the wing to go and it looked really stupid trying to fit it onto the side. And that's why the plumage bit should have gone right at the back of this piece to allow for space for the wing. So I thought, right, forget about the wing, scrap that idea. And now tried to fix on the legs and the feet. Yeah, I'll fast forward me trying to put the legs on, but I ended up taking them off and just trying to put the feet on. And I don't know whether any of you have cottoned on to the logistics of me not putting the legs on and just putting the feet on. Yeah, you'll see in a minute. It was around about halfway through this that I thought, do you know what? This isn't going to work. And then just tried to put the feet on. So I attached them both together first and then attached them to the peacock itself. This is the first time I actually burnt myself because guess what? I haven't got my finger things on, which again is stupidity on my part. Knowing how clumsy I am, I was bound to burn myself. And then I tried to stick them onto the bottom of this peacock. Again, just by popping some of the melted filament onto the bottom of the feet and then sticking it onto the bottom of the bird. This did take a few goes, but I will say, once this stuff is gone hard, there's no getting it apart. Yeah, particularly if it's like a blob or, you know, quite a big bit, it becomes really solid really quickly. So just to make sure these feet weren't going to come off, I then went all the way around them with the 3D printing pen. And here lies the issue. The wings are longer than the legs or longer than the feet, so it's not going to stand up at all, no matter what I do. So I've hoped you've enjoyed this unboxing and sort of review of this 3D printing pen. And my final thoughts, to be fair, I absolutely love it. So if you're still with me, thank you so much, and the best thing you can do for a channel my size is watch to the very end. Like, subscribe and comment, as it is completely free. If you'd like to support my channel further, there are links to my Amazon wishlist and buy me a coffee in the description below. I've been Tony from Georgie's Gorgeous Gifts. Stay safe and happy crafting. Bye for now.
It turned into a hat. We thought it was a bird. Now it's a splat. Plastic strings flying, sticking to my